At Rustic Pathways, through their programs, they facilitate educational experiences for students who use travel and philanthropy as means to achieve sustainable development at the places they visit.
We interviewed Casey Ashley, who is a Costa Rica manager and a Gap Years in Missions programmer at Rustic Pathways.
What is your mission at Rustic Pathways?
Our mission at Rustic Pathways is to empower students through international service and international travel, and then also to impact the lives of the people that we work with in the communities where we do service. So it's really what we want to achieve through these programs.
What impact do you have on the countries that your trips go to? Any specifics?
It's really varies, I think, from country to country. So we're nearly in 20 countries now, and impact, I think, depends on the size of the country, what country it is, and then what we're able to achieve with the volume of students that we have visiting that country. So you look at maybe like a smaller country like Fiji, it's smaller geographically, it's smaller population-wise, and Fiji's our second or third largest country in terms of students visiting it. So I think we're able to do a larger impact than maybe a huge, more populous country like Thailand or something. But what we really try to focus on is maybe not impacting or changing the landscape or improving the lives of people in the entire country or countrywide, but really in the little small communities where we visit. And what helps is we're visiting the same communities year after year, season after season, so that really helps kind of have the impact there more locally, I think. Yeah.
We then interviewed Sydney Perry, who went on a Rustic Pathways trip last summer in Thailand.
What impact did your first trip for Rustic Pathways have on you? Any specifics?
It really changed the way I look at life, just because, for example, when we would bring the kids food, we would make it, go to the market, make it, package it, and then we'd go through the city in the towns on cars and just hand them out to people we saw in their houses. And the fact that they were so grateful and so loving and so thankful to us when we were giving them just this bag, in a plastic bag of food, nothing gourmet, and they were so accepting and so loving and so happy in these living conditions that are not nice at all. So it really made me think of how grateful I am and how lucky I am, and it really changed the way on how I look at things, and I complain less and I appreciate what I have more and stuff like that.
Why do you base your trips around community service and not just take the kids around the world for vacation?
That's a really good question, and the honest truth is we do have a few programs that actually do that, but we don't think it has to be this dichotomy. It doesn't have to be binary where vacation has to be separate from goodwill or from service. And when I take students on programs, whether it's in Morocco or Costa Rica or New Orleans, sure, we do things like whitewater rafting or vacation type things like time on the beach. But I think, more than 9 times out of 10, what a student would come home and what they talk about is the service aspect. So even though we, do those vacation things, I think the highlight is that service for a lot of students. So what we kind of dream of and what we imagine is maybe one day that would be all vacations. Maybe one day adults would take vacations like that too and build service into their family vacations or something. So yeah, we definitely don't treat it as, one or the other. We kind of mix it all together, the service and the more adventure vacation type aspects.
Why do you like to work for Rustic Pathways?
The travel is my first answer. The travel experiences and opportunities have been absolutely incredible. This will be my 4th summer with Rustic Pathways, and I've kind of had somewhere around maybe 3 different roles or 3 different jobs within the company, and they've all allowed me to travel so much, sometimes even more than I wanted to. It's almost too much of a good thing sometimes. It's definitely a role or an organization, I wouldn't even say a company, but it's an industry for a person that is really flexible in their work schedule, really flexible in their location, and in their ability to just pick up the backpack and leave tomorrow if they need you to. That's a huge benefit for me. And then in my former role, I think running that summer camp, having 30 7 and 8-year-olds come to a summer camp week after week for 8 weeks, that is a blast. To see a kid do a slip and slide for the first time ever, or learn the rules of dodgeball or something, the Costa Rican students. That's great. And then now in my current role with Gap Year, kind of seeing students maybe find their path or find like their career, their interested major or something during the 3 months that they travel with us. So that's a lot of rewards. I think I listed 3, but it's definitely a day-to-day really rewarding position. I'm lucky.
What was it like at your first trip at Rustic Pathways, and where'd you go?
I went to Thailand. We went to the Rustic Base House, and we did a ton of community service within the community, which was called Udon Thani, which is one of the big main 3 cities in Thailand in the north. And we did tons of different activities, stuff from cooking for the kids, help teaching them how to swim, stuff like that.
What impact does Rustic Pathways have on you?
The impact that Rustic Pathways has had on me, or this role in the organizations, is definitely, it's determined what I've seen, what I've experienced in the last 4 years. And I believe, I'm a believer that people are a sum of their experiences. So you are made, your beliefs and your feelings, your emotions, and your personality is formed from all of the experiences that you have, from birth up till, this moment right now. And those last 4 years of some amazing, incredible experiences in countries I would have never imagined traveling to, or meeting people and students and service contacts that have just been really incredible people. That's definitely shaped or impacted, who I am as a person. It's a huge impact.
Next, we interviewed Shelley Deutsch, the community service leader for our school, Sierra Camp. What is your opinion on Rustic Pathways?
A number of our students have gone to the Rustic Pathways program over the years, and I've always been impressed with their feedback on the program and their experiences. Not only what they've written when they've turned in their service forms, but just talking to them about the program. They describe it as life-changing, they describe it as the most amazing experiences they've ever had, and what also has impressed me is how many of our students return and do 2nd and 3rd summers with Rustic Pathways. I think that really speaks to the program. I know a number of our students also have referred their friends, and I don't think they would do that if they had any hesitation. So I've only been impressed and very happy with the responses that we've gotten from our students.
Why is community service beneficial in life?
It's an excellent question, and I thank you for asking that. We feel that it's important for our students to reach outside of themselves. And community service is not only a way of giving to the community and impacting lives or the environment or animals, other important causes, but it's also a way of developing character. And it's very important to us that our students are not only involved in the academics of school and their extracurricular activities, athletics, music, and so on, but also that they grow as people. And certainly by doing service, you learn a lot about the world, and you also learn a lot about yourself.
What was it like at your first Rustic Pathways trip, and where'd you go?
My first program was called Young Explorers. It's our only program worldwide for middle school students. And it was really interesting because I didn't know what to expect. I knew that it was right when I got hired, and I had gone through a week of training in Costa Rica, and I knew that these were programs for high school students, but I hadn't yet learned, or I didn't see until that week of training, that we also run programs for middle school students. I was very new then. So that was really exciting because there's a completely different, aspect of the program, and it was in a country that I was really excited to be in, so it was a good experience, but that was the first program I ever ran.
From the moment I got back from my Rustic Pathways trip, I knew I would do it again in a heartbeat because I really loved it so much, and I am going back, and I will be going to Peru this summer with them, so I'm really excited for that.
I see what you're wearing, there's nothing beneath it. Forgive me for staring.